Hi friends, and welcome back to another episode of TT Reacts. So first up, wall handstand practice. Now I don't know what level this lady is on. Let me see her profile. Okay, so this is her only photo, so I don't really know if she actually knows how to do a handstand or not. But sitting down on the wall doesn't really have too many benefits in terms of learning a handstand. The major thing that I think it could help with is like back flexibility, if you have like a baseline understanding of the drills and the exercises you need to be doing. But in terms of actually benefiting your handstand, I think a more straight alignment could help you to progress and get there so that you can engage your core muscles, because in this position here you really can't engage your core muscles, and I don't imagine it's very easy to breathe when you're sitting down on the wall like this. So my guess is you only held it for like a few seconds and just like posted the picture. But I would not encourage beginners to practice in this way. Again, I don't really know where she's at, but yeah, I think practicing positions where your knees are bent in this way would benefit you a little bit more than what you're doing in this photo. Not a handstand progress in accommodations. It's been 3 weeks. I got my first kick up to elbow stand. I'm still struggling with all my weight on my wrist, and I can't handstand yet, but I've added shoulder stands so I can practice entries and balance while I build up that wrist and shoulder strength. I found since I added shoulder stands as an accommodation, I've been progressing very well. The next goal is to increase the box height such that I should be at my handstand height as if I was on my wrists. I initially had the feet elevated, and then I was decreasing the height of that and swapping out to smaller boxes. Okay, so I do like this, particularly when you're carrying extra weight. It is more difficult for your joints to support that level of weight. However, it still looks a little bit flip-floppy in terms of what she's doing with her feet. So I would encourage this lady to do the modification, do the same progressions here that I encourage everyone to do while you're in this position, just so that you can still build that core strength. And if you are working toward losing the weight, it'll get a lot easier for your joints to support you as you strengthen your body and your muscles in that way. And just in general, I think that incorporating lifting will help you overall, just because it does strengthen your bones, it does help your joints, and it's a good supplement to your fitness routine. I'm not sure if this is all that you're doing, because you didn't really mention anything else in terms of your fitness, but my guess is that you are trying to train your balance for your handstand. But like I said, there's really no handstand without strength. It's just not going to be easy to ever hold it if you don't get the necessary strength to hold up your body weight that is unfortunately required for this movement. So although I do like this modification for if you cannot support your weight, but if you do have the hope to one day get a handstand and be able to hold it for a long enough period of time, you really should be incorporating strength training and getting down to a weight where your joints are not so overworked, because even when you are a healthy weight, it can be pretty hard on your joints already. So when you have extra weight, it's kind of hard, and if you're not lifting, if your bones and your joints aren't used to carrying that extra load, you can get injured in the workout. So yeah, I would recommend that. Just try incorporating strength training You could do wrist exercises, just different things to improve your overall strength. And honestly, you really don't even have to lose the weight. It's just getting enough muscle to manage the weight that you have. So even if you end up being the same weight after incorporating a strength training program, you might be able to hold up your weight, because there are a lot of women that are like 200 plus pounds. They're a little bit taller, or maybe even just meet like average height, and they are just basically all muscle, and they can hold their body weight up. They can do flips, they can do tricks. So I think really just focusing on your overall strength could benefit you more. Losing weight could also help, but it's not an either or. It's just basically what works for you in helping you to manage being upside down and holding up your weight when you're doing this movement, and making sure that your joints are good, because joint pain is something, unfortunately, in the beginning is inevitable. So we do have to facilitate that aspect of doing a handstand. This does look like it could give you like a light ab exercise from the looks of it, but like I said, the progressions are a little bit more challenging, but you can still do them on the boxes. So I would implore you to try that and lift some weights, girl, and I think you should be good. Help me get my first handstand. Okay, so I'm not really fully sure what I'm looking at in this photo here. It looks like he's trying to do a free handstand. And in this position, you can see that he is using a lot of chest. His back is slightly arched. Looks like he was actively in the middle of a handstand, so I can't really fully tell what he was actually doing. But from the looks of it, your head is down a little bit too low. You need to bring your head up a little bit higher, and put your abdominal to where it's more straight, and engage your core by keeping your feet more in front of you than behind you, so that you can really grab those abdominal muscles. He's asking what's the right progression. So the correct progression is to first establish where your feet are going in the movement, and also when you figure that out, you need to strengthen the abdominal muscles where your feet are naturally supposed to go in the handstand. So that would be this first progression here, where you're individually engaging each side of muscles and simultaneously strengthening those same muscles, for you to then go to this progression here, where both of your feet are going out at the same time, engaging the same muscles, but in the foot placement that you found in the first exercise. So this is a stepping stone to getting your free handstand in this last drill here. You're basically bouncing into a free handstand and putting your feet back on the wall while still maintaining your alignment in that exercise. Now this is really going to challenge your abdominal muscles. It's going to challenge your shoulders. It's going to challenge your chest. It's going to really put your body to where you're forced to have that harmony and figure out what the correct medium is in terms of holding your handstand for a long enough period of time. And it's a good strength program. If you don't like lifting weights or doing too many body weight movements, you can just do the progressions and it's still going to have the same effect. Now wall press ups and pike presses and all that stuff, that definitely will help you, but I fear that it's going to burn your muscles out too much, and it's not actually going to push you toward your handstand, because it's not handstand specific training. So you should be leaning more toward handstand specific training so that it can translate into your handstand. So I would encourage you to warm up with push-ups, lateral raises, and planks, just to warm up your muscles. Do between 1 and 3 sets of those before you go into the progressions. And then from there, if you want to also practice your free handstand, that is perfectly fine. That's a natural progression to getting your handstand. Alrighty friends, to end this video, I want to show you guys, I came across this video as well of this man talking about pointing your feet and flexing your feet and whatnot.
Handstand hot take. Pointing your toes doesn't really matter. Now, you do have to do something with your feet. So some people flex their feet, some people do demi-point. Honestly, you just have to know what you're doing with your feet. It doesn't really matter if your toes are pointed or not. Don't get me wrong, there's value to it, but you don't have to do it. My name's Terry. I'm a handstand coach. I specialize in beginners. Don't let the haters get you down.
So my take on the positioning and pointing of your feet, I don't particularly think that matters, because it's not necessary to point your feet in order for your feet to be in the correct position. It's not necessary to point your feet in order to engage your chest, your core, or your shoulders. It's not necessary to point your feet to basically do anything that's fundamental to a handstand. For some reason, this is debated a lot in this group of calisthenics people who think that you have to have really good technique and it has to look so perfect. It does not. I never point my feet, and I've been able to get to an advanced level of doing a handstand. And pointing my feet, I've done it, I've tried it. It doesn't make any difference in my training at all. Typically, I don't point, I don't flex. It's just kind of in the middle. It's just kind of there. And I'm still able to get the most out of my training. So I did want to show you guys this video because it's just such a widely debated topic when it comes to doing a handstand, but it's not anything that's of true importance when it comes to actually learning the handstand. Now, if you're teaching people in the beginning that you need to point your feet, that's something that's going to distract them from all of the things that I've been previously talking about, which is engaging your correct muscles, which is getting your body in harmony and knowing where your feet need to be and at what time and what muscles need to be engaged. If you're telling someone to point their feet and it's only their second week of learning a handstand, what do you think they're going to be focusing on the most? Pointing their feet. And pointing your feet is not important in terms of balance, strength, or overall coordination in terms of your body. People say it has to do with alignment, but your alignment can be perfectly fine without pointing your feet. So it's just kind of something that I wanted to talk about because it's not as important as people think it is. This isn't a sport like dance where you need to have the perfect turnout pointed feet technique. It's really something that requires a lot of strength, some balance, and handstand technique. You don't necessarily have to have ballet technique in order to have correct handstand technique. But all right, that was the last video. Rant over, friends. If you would like your video featured, go ahead and send it to this email here and you will see it in one of my upcoming videos. But until next time, ciao.